Gaming news. I think the biggest is easily Stadia. Has to be.
First Stadia. RIP.
We hardly knew you.
So yeah,
So surprising absolutely no one, except the poor developers at Stadia, which is a whole other thing. Um, Google is shutting down Google Stadia, the cloud gaming service that it started when in 2019. Yeah.
yep.
Um, so yeah, I mean, anyone who's been paying attention to anything to do with Stadia could have seen this coming years ago. It's kind of
Mm,
remarkable that it took this long for Google to kind of like throw in the towel and be like, okay, we've kind of fucked this up. It's not going to work.
yeah.
Um, I do think that the failings of the platform were more a business model thing and not actually the
Not the
technology.
tech. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the tech is very good. And I was reading an article yesterday saying like the tech is here to stay, and I agree with that.
Mm,
I mean, you just have to look at Microsoft's approach to
yeah.
see that like Xbox cloud gaming is going from strength to strength. And again, it's because the model makes sense. It's like all the games you own and all the games on Game Pass, you can stream. And if you buy a game, it's available on your Xbox console or for streaming or for PC in some
Yeah.
cases. Like Google's idea of like, nah, this game exists only on this platform that we can absolutely shut down at any point, case in
Yeah.
point, is like kind of ridiculous, and like
Also,
it never got over that initial hurdle.
was there a monthly cost to have a Stadia unit?
No.
No. So it's just a matter of you play the
There was
game and
like a tier where you'd get games for free every month, and
if
I
you
think it was like
if you paid, okay.
$15 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
But the
Okay.
games are still full price. It was
Mm,
ridiculous. Like it made no sense. So I mean, in 2021, Google insisted that it was still alive and well,
yeah.
and it had deprioritized the customer-facing side of its game streaming platform, having largely shifted its focus to selling the service's underlying technology to third parties. So already then the writing was kind of on the wall there.
Mm,
But this is just another case of good old Phil Harrelson failing upwards. Man was at the helm of Xbox when they did TV. Now at the
uh,
helm of Stadia when they absolutely shat the bed. I do not know why people keep hiring this dude who clearly does not know what the market
gaming.
needs. Like, he clearly understands gaming, he understands technology, but he does not understand what the market is actually wanting at
Yeah.
the point in time. Um, Very glad Jade Raymond got out of there when she did.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
that kind of sucks. It sucks for people who really invested into this platform because there were those people. I mean, that is a risk in itself, but
mm,
it seems that Google is giving back. They granting refunds to anyone who bought anything on Stadia, which
mm.
must be a colossal cost on
I
them.
I was gonna say like
Cool.
I yeah, I know like Stadia's got its flaws, everything, but I do take my hats off to Google. Not that they have money issues, but I still think it's a very big move of them to be like, we are refunding absolutely everything. Because
Hmm.
I look, you can joke about it. Maybe only 10 people had Stadia, and the refund is not that expensive. But assuming there are thousands of people who bought software to give them their money back is sure it's quite
It means
something.
they've made no money on this, and
Mm,
there's been a lot of reports that they spent hundreds of millions to get games on there. Like they were paying Rockstar hundreds of millions to get, Red Dead Redemption on their platform. Like they were
sure.
essentially buying content, and to like actually have zero to show for that. Like,
Also, just
um,
goes to show how much money Google has.
yeah, it's also true. They can just afford
Good
to make
lord.
mistakes like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a sort of
But
move that would end a company.
oh yeah, any other company, this will completely sink them
Yeah.
completely. But this is Google. Google does this all the
Mm,
fucking time. So
yeah.
that's why when Stadia was announced and it was announced as this closed ecosystem, people like
Yeah.
Google's not got a great track record with this. So
No.
um, yeah, what I don't like is that Google didn't inform developers about this.
Oh, it just
I
happened.
saw Micros, a publisher at No More Robots. They just put out a game called We Bought a Zoo or Built a Zoo or something. They
Oh,
publish a
yeah.
lot of games, and he was like, we were 3 days away from launching a game on Stadia, and no one told us this was happening."
That
And
is
he's like, "Will we get our money from Google now for publishing? Probably not."
that is
You know,
ridiculous.
You know, even developers at Stadia, working on the Stadia team at Google, were told maybe an hour before this announcement was made.
How does
So
that happen though?
it's fucking insane. Like, it's actually disgusting, and it happens all the time. Like,
Yeah, it's
so
more
many companies
when I say how
letting
does it
waste
happen,
time
it's
on
more a thing
social
of like
media.
how can you let something that intentional happen?
No, it's crazy. It's just a complete lack of respect for the people who help you build this product that you just torpedoing into the ground. You know, and it's not their fault.
No,
They're on the tech side or on the business side. They are, you know, working to the mandates of the executives who clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing. So yeah, there was a report that there was a Death Stranding successor that was planned as an exclusive for
mm,
Stadia, single player exclusive, that never took off. Well, Hideo Kojima like candid himself like a few years back.
sure.
Um, but some publishers are making good on this. Like Ubisoft's already announced that they are looking at ways to migrate Stadia purchases over to
Mm,
PC. So if you have a gaming PC and you play it on Stadia, the problem is like that is nice,
mm,
altruistic, but the whole promise of Stadia was like you do not
you
need
don't
hardware.
need
So I do not understand there to be a Venn diagram of someone's like, I've got a gaming PC, but I also have all these
a
purchases
Stadia.
on
Yeah,
Stadia. Like, what the fuck were you doing? Like,
yeah.
what's the point? You know? So, but I guess as a publisher, that's all you can do. It's like
Mm,
you can't now go and give them console codes because that's a whole royalty
that's
problem.
yeah.
But PC you can. You know, I know IO Interactive said the same thing for Hitman. There's players now saying they want their Cyberpunk 2077 save that you know given to them so they can migrate that to other platforms, which
Yeah.
I don't think should be a problem because I'm pretty sure CD Projekt Red introduced crossplay anyway, like cross
I
save progression anyway into the game.
I was gonna
So
say, like, as much as I hate having to sign up for every bloody service, well, not every, but like with some games, it is a matter of like, are you a CD Project Red member? Are you a Rockstar member?
mm, mm,
But in cases like this, I'm like, yeah, if it gives me crossplay, I'm there.
of course.
Like, crossplay
I mean,
should just be a thing
for
now.
Cyberpunk, it's great because if I'm like, oh, I don't really want to play at my desk today, I want to play on the couch. I can load up
Mm,
Cyberpunk on PS5. Yes, it doesn't look as good as on PC, but I can just put in 2-3 hours of progress,
yeah.
whatever.
This is like that age-old problem I had with Monster Hunter, where I played it on Switch and then it launched on PC. I had to start from scratch. Like, but it's 2022.
Super
How's
annoying.
this?
Yeah.
How's this a problem? Yeah.
Yeah, it's super
Anyways,
annoying and it's not just standard. So,
yeah. But yeah,
but
RIP
yeah,
Stadia.
Rip Stadia,
Uh,
it's shutting down in Jan next year, and Google expects most of the refunds to be processed by then. So, good luck if you are someone in that scenario.
you know, it's quite nice about that though, is that if you spent money on Stadia, suddenly you're gonna have this little cash injection of like, oh damn, $500. That's
Yeah,
quite nice.
I can maybe buy a
I can
PS5 with
now I
that
can turn
money
this
now.
money into a console now or a gaming
Yeah,
PC.
exactly. Exactly. It's not too bad.
Um, in other gaming news, I suppose, what do you want to touch on quickly? Let's,
Um,
suppose let's
should
just
we chat
quickly
about
mention.
this? Hmm?
No, what are you gonna say?
I was going to say The Last of Us
Okay, we'll do The
teaser.
Last of Us. Let's do all the
So
things
this,
that you want to do.
well, I gave you the option.
There we go.
Um, this came out on Monday, I think, or yeah, because I think it was The Last of Us Day or
Yeah,
whatever that is at Naughty Dog, and we've got a
an
proper
actual trailer now.
like minute and a half trailer for The Last of Us show,
A
which is
really
coming out
good
in
trailer, can I
2023.
just say?
Yeah,
Holy
my goodness,
moly, that's a
absolutely
power,
gorgeous trailer. Like
power
it looks
trailer.
like so much money put into the series.
Yeah, and
The set
having
design is just incredible.
I was saying to you, having like literally replayed the game a few short weeks ago and now seeing it on the screen, I'm like, oh my,
Mm,
this looks really good.
the
Real
clickers
good.
look very good.
I know. I saw those clickers. Are like, no, please. No,
Stop.
please, no.
But it looks like they're capturing the parts of the game that are important. It's the
Mm,
characters. It's not
yes.
the apocalypse is just the kind of backdrop to all this
Mm,
character drama that's happening. So I think the casting choices are like spot on for like everyone.
yeah,
And Pedro Pascal looks like he's going to be a phenomenal
a
Joe.
great, yeah,
So,
Joel.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say just to touch on what you mentioned earlier that I'm sure that the series will have action. like without a
Mm,
doubt.
definitely.
But I don't think it will be like, exclusively, whoa, there's something happening all the time. It's more those like in
Mm.
between moments of, I
I
think,
think
yeah,
it's going to be very reminiscent of the first few seasons of The Walking Dead,
yeah,
which were very much that, you know.
100%.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see loads of comparisons to like, oh, this is what The Walking Dead should have been, something like that.
Probably, probably.
Probably, but yeah, very excited for that. There's no firm date on that. It just is
No,
2020,
2023.
but I
Um,
think the rumors say it's early 2023. So
I think the sooner the better because I'm almost
mm.
surprised that they launched The Last of Us Part One not with the show.
I think the plan was to do that,
Yeah,
and I think it just got to the point where Sony's like, we can't
mm.
hold on
because
longer.
I think it's
Yeah,
still
if
going to
I
do
remember
very well,
correctly,
but
like there were reports last year saying that the Last of Us remake was going to come out like Feb this year,
yeah.
and it didn't. So
Well, it won't matter because The Last of Us Part One is out in the wild now. Um, like Cyberpunk 2077, who just launched an anime
Jesus.
nearly 2 years after the launch of the game. Cyberpunk is now having a resurgence thanks to the
Mm,
Edge Runners show, which we've both watched. Real good.
very good
I
show.
think
Yeah.
you don't have to be a Cyberpunk fan. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm talking
absolutely not.
specifically. You
Yeah,
don't have to be a Cyberpunk game fan, but if you like the
absolutely
genre
not.
of Cyberpunk, then 100% watch the show. It's really,
I mean,
really
I
good.
wasn't really. I haven't finished the game, and
Oh,
I don't think the game's still that good. But the show is
the show is
pretty fucking
great.
great. Pretty
But so
good.
yeah, like how the comparison I'm getting at is that how Edge Runners gave Cyberpunk this new lease on, well, not new lease, but like gave it this resurgence. I'm pretty sure that when the Last of Us show launches, people are gonna be like, oh hey,
Yeah,
there's the Last of Us Part One game. The
100%.
sales gonna
I
go
mean,
to the roof.
this is all what multimedia strategies are. Like this
Mm,
is entirely what you do. Like CD Projekt Red has been very good with this. Like
yes.
very proactive with like the Witcher show. You've got the Witcher and like animated movie. You've got like
Mm,
a prequel coming out. Like they cross pollinated multimedia strategy.
mm,
I mean, every time the Witcher season, a new Witcher season comes out, you see the same stories of like, oh, Witcher sales are just going up.
mm. So yeah, on to this. Cyberpunk 2077 has crossed the 20 million copies sold mark, which
Huge.
is
That is big.
monumental. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's such an interesting scenario because like I think me along with many other well, I along with many other people have a real love for CD Projekt Red because of like The Witcher.
Mm,
So to see them launch Cyberpunk in the states it did was very sad. Like it was this awful thing of seeing this company, this beloved company, just having this fall from grace. But I think things have worked out neatly in that Cyberpunk is still selling well, and I'm
mhm,
hoping they've learned their lesson
mhm.
for their next project, whatever it is. Probably Witcher 4. Like I don't know if it's a matter of just giving that game enough time to be developed or so much as setting expectations. I don't know, but I hope they've learned a hard lesson. Um,
Mm.
and it's
I
quite
mean, you'd hope that, especially for the
yeah,
devs who were like worked like crazy. The game came
exactly.
out in a state that they knew wasn't ready, and then had to work like crazy to address that, like in
Yeah.
the months after. So yeah, I agree with you. I hope they've learned from that for the sake of the developers and us as like consumers.
Mm. It is.
They definitely are working on a new Witcher. Like that is their next
Is
thing.
that fact? Okay.
Yeah, they announced that earlier this year, and they said
Mm.
they're moving to Unreal Engine 5. They're not working on
Yes,
their own
but
internal,
the
which in a way is maybe going to offset a lot of this. It's like they were maintaining their own engine in studio while
yes,
building this game. Like, so,
but Cyberpunk's also not done. I think next year they've got another big expansion
DLC.
plan for next gen only as well. So
Yeah,
yep.
Phantom Liberty DLC. So, yeah, it's early on next gen and PC. But that is the only DLC that the game is getting,
Mm.
the only expansion at least. So,
Ah,
yeah.
but I
I
along
think they have
with
bigger plans for it. I mean, they canceled the multiplayer mode that was
mm,
meant to come out. So I think they're just like they're cutting their losses on like we can't continue to grow this on an engine we are not even going to be supporting for our next
mm,
games. So
yeah,
we just cauterize the wound here and move
yeah.
on. You know?
But I'm there. I'm kind of keen to just dive into Cyberpunk, even not to replay it, but just to walk around that world and see what's changed in the last. I can't believe
I've
this
been
game came out
replay
nearly 2 years ago.
I've been replaying it in drips and drabs because you finished it at launch, but I fell off of it. I was like
Mm,
so disappointed by it, after like you said, loving The Witcher 3.
mm,
I did not find the things that I really enjoyed from that in here. The world felt very sterile and barren and
mm,
whatever. A lot of those things now replaying them, I don't think have actually changed.
mm,
You know, the world is still beautiful, but there's still a lot that I have problems with when it comes to like the way the AI reacts and the way combat works out. And
mm.
but it's still fun. Like I'm having a
Yeah.
better time with it now than I did 2 years ago, and that's pretty good. I'll probably see
Mm,
it to the end now.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is a
Nice.
beautiful world. Like especially on, I saw one of the guys from Digital Foundry saying it's the only game he's played that you can definitely tell was built for powerful hardware first and then scaled back for consoles and not the other way
Not the
around.
other way around.
Because this game on PC just looks
It looks
unbelievable.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Really like something else. So
Mm.
yeah, it's a
Well,
real look.
on that theme of games that should have been delayed, uh,
Mm,
games that continue to be delayed, Skull and Bones, this game that was announced
be delayed.
so many years ago and has come
Originally
back and
revealed in 2017 and in development
uh,
since 2013.
it was that had a resurgence of like, okay, this game's coming out, and it has been delayed again to March 2023. But now this is an
It was meant
interesting
to come out in
conversation.
November, wasn't it?
I think it was soon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, expected to arrive in November this year. But now this is an interesting conversation because we've just said like, maybe CD Projekt Red should have delayed their game
Mm.
indefinitely until they're ready. Now, do we criticize these people for
Oh,
like
I
it's
mean, definitely not. Like, if they need more time, they need more
mm,
time. I think Skull and Bones has just become a bit of a laughing stock because it's like it's so typical that this game got delayed,
yeah.
and it's so clear that this is a concept that probably should have just been canned like
Mm,
years ago. Like it's taken so many years to try and find a way for it to work. And even then, when it was shown off like a few months back, it doesn't look good. Like the gameplay doesn't look
I think there's some
exciting.
I think there's some good ideas, but I can't tell you it
Yeah,
gets me excited.
no, not at
So
all.
I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know. Like it, people laugh at it for being delayed, and I agree with you. There is hypocrisy there, where it's like developers should just delay games and take time, and yet we are here like laughing at
It's
a game being delayed for like the fifth or sixth time. But
yeah. But I think
Skull and
that's
Bones
like a
just seems like
lot.
a game that's for no one. I just don't see this game like actually selling well.
Mm.
And it seems to be based on prior reporting that the only reason it's coming out is because of an agreement, I think, with the French government, because they probably put money in
Oh, oh
to,
my god.
I don't know if it's the French government. It was one of the governments, and so they have an obligation to actually put this game
Cool.
out. And I think that's really the only reason
Hectic.
Ubisoft hasn't torpedoed it. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's coming out in
Um
March. Maybe who the fuck knows, really?
in reverse cadence news, Disney reportedly wants 2 Star Wars games per year.
This is insanity.
That's oh sorry. That's
This
that's
is
crazy.
actual insanity. I think on the side of Disney. So this is being reported by, well, GameSpot, but originally by Insider Gaming, which is Tom Henderson's new like it's new website where all the writers are anonymous, and it just seems like a place where people can just break embargoes willy nilly. So who knows?
Nice.
Um, so yeah, the publisher apparently wants to put out 2 Star Wars games every year, consisting of one big AAA game and one smaller game every fiscal year. This includes several games that have already been announced. So apparently Lucasfilm is on board for the plan as well. So we've already got like Star Wars Jedi Survivor from Respawn
Mm,
and Star Wars Eclipse from Quantic Dream, kind of in the AAA space there.
yeah.
You've got a smaller competitive shooter called Star Wars Hunters coming, and an untitled games from Skydance Media, Respawn, and Ubisoft. The game from Skydance was long rumored as Amy Hennig's next project, but I think she's working on that Captain America Black
Yeah.
Panther now, so I don't know how much of that is
This
true.
is it's
But that just means there's lots of AAA games, Star Wars AAA games in dev that we don't even know about. So
yeah. Look,
Insider Gaming also reports several more in pre-development.
I
It's a lot of Star Wars.
I love Star Wars, big Star Wars
Mm,
fan, but even I'm like, it's just too much. There's
mm,
just I don't know, and I don't think I'm alone in saying that it feels like there's just too much Star Wars
yeah,
happening.
it's
Like
it's
it's so difficult to keep up now, even with so like we had the OG trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and then now starting with the modern trilogy. It feels,
mm,
and obviously there's in between stuff like there's been Clone Wars and between that, but it
mm,
feels
mm.
like in the last 5 years they've really just ramped up Star Wars. There's just too much.
Oh,
It's like
absolutely, yeah.
mainstream movies. There's a lot of spin-off shows. There's a lot of games, and like
It's the
it's
same thing as
cool, but
Marvel.
there's,
It's
it's
saturation.
just too
It's
much
just
saturation. Yeah, and
yeah.
like I
The
really
good thing is that they seem to be, at least on the TV front of it, they seem to be hitting a good quality bar now. Where
mm,
I feel like the three sequel movies were, I enjoyed them for what they were,
mm,
but I don't think about them that much
no,
anymore. Um, and like Obi-Wan Kenobi, fun.
yeah,
It was fun. It had its moments that were like, okay, this is fucking great.
mm,
But on the overall, it's still like it's okay.
yeah.
Stuff like Andor now is getting such big critical acclaim. So I wonder if they just like they finding finally like, okay, this is what modern Star Wars audiences want or
But
something like that. Maybe the games will do that as well.
but am I not alone? Am I alone in wanting something that's just outside of this whole Skywalker
Oh, absolutely.
series?
You are not alone there. You
Like
at least when you're talking to me,
it's like
yeah.
I was saying in the office recently that remember when you watch Rogue One and at the end of Rogue One Darth Vader pops up, it's like, oh my god, like that's you kind of hope for it, but the fact that it happened, like
Mm,
shit, this is awesome.
mm,
But I'm like, okay, well, obviously Darth Vader pops up in Obi-Wan. Is he going to pop up in Andor? Like that magic is
yeah.
like I get it. Darth Vader's a big bad villain, but like you've played that card. Can you just stop playing
No,
it?
I 100% agree with you. Like that, this is why Obi-Wan as concept for a single season to me
Yes,
worked.
please
Because I
do
was
not
like,
make a second season.
the thing is, they might.
Yeah.
Like, there's already things going around being like, oh yeah, they might just do another season over on. I'm like,
No,
why?
stop
It
it.
ended off so well. Like it gave us the sort of like conclusion to Anakin and Vader,
mm,
Anakin, Vader, and Obi-Wan. So,
mm,
but that's the problem is they don't know when to stop, and they just keep saturating the
yeah.
same sort of period. Um, in a way, that's sort of like why Clone Wars is pretty cool because even though it was still contained within that period,
Mm,
it was so different. They visited all these different planets and introduced all these different characters that
yeah.
you never ever see anywhere else, and that's what made it feel fresh. So
But maybe that's why Andor's also getting some critical acclaim because
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
different, I guess.
yeah. I
Sure,
don't know.
that's
I
that's
would like the new games to be set in completely different spaces.
mm.
Like if Respawn makes a Star Wars shooter that is just like Clone Troopers, I'm gonna be like, for fuck's sake, like why?
So
Why
only
do we need?
period in Star Wars where people shot at each other,
The thing
apparently.
that annoys me the most is like Quantic Dream is doing well out of the games that have been announced. Quantic Dream's doing the one game that actually sounds super interesting because it's
Mm,
set during the High Republic, which is thousands of
yeah,
years before the
years
films.
before.
But it's Quantic Dream, so I'm like, for fuck's sake, why are you guys doing the one thing that actually sounds like it could be cool?
Damn it.
Yeah. I'm keen for Jed's Survivor
Oh
though.
yeah, look, all that said, I loved Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order. But
Yes, I love that game. I
but it,
replayed it this year. Yeah.
but again, what does the sequel look like? Does Cal relearn his ability? It's like I don't know.
That's
No
actually
idea.
crazy that I forgot that it was announced with the well, it doesn't have a release date, but it is set to launch before April next year.
Oh shit. Well, there you go.
That's like soon.
That's super
So,
soon.
yeah,
Cool.
keen on that.
Other dribs and drabs of quick news. Vampire Survivors 1.0 launches on October 20. So
Sick. Have you
heard
purchased Vampire
not
Survivors yet?
not yet, but I know
You need
Jeff
to.
and Darren think this say this is crack cocaine. I know
It's
Miklas
very good.
launched it this week. He's like it's literally crack cocaine.
I think
So
it's 30 Rand on Steam
yeah,
before it goes
super cheap.
1.0. So yeah, it's very good. If you're unfamiliar with what it is, it's like what if Castlevania was an idle game almost? So you kind of are a vampire hunter and you don't initiate your own attacks. You kind of just move around and
Mm,
as you kill enemies, you level up and you unlock new abilities, and just the way these abilities like meld together to create this cacophony of just death and pixels on
Oh my
screen.
god, look at
It's
this.
super satisfying. It's very satisfying.
It's cool.
So yeah, give it a go. It's fucking $30 on Steam. Like, come on.
It's like
Yeah.
a coffee, man.
Literally nowadays, yes.
Um, we got a trailer for a new game called Wild Hearts, which, for all
Mm.
intents and purposes, is EA's take
Straight
on
up Monster
the
Hunter.
Monster Hunter.
Developed by Koei Tecmo, the and the Warriors team, so the makers of, you know, like Hyrule Warriors,
mm,
all the Muso games. So interesting because they clearly know combat in
yeah.
a certain way. But Monster Hunter combat to me is very different. So
Mm,
what I loved about this trailer were the complete nonsense contraptions that you can build. Like,
yeah.
it just
I,
looks so
I
ridiculous and
must
fun.
say, if you want to enter the genre, I'm glad that they are doing it with, there's a spin or a twist there. But it's not just you being like this legendary warrior who uses a
Mm,
katana or whatever. It's no, you are that, but also there's some weird technology here which lets you do
yeah,
things. So
very very
it's
cool. I'm liking the look of it.
yeah,
I
I
think
was gonna say
like
it looks gorgeous. Like visually, I'm like, damn, it looks really nice.
yeah.
But I do have my reservations, and this is how I feel with a lot of games. You try to mimic or follow suit in the part of the steps of more successful games. So a good example is people have tried to replicate From Software's formula with Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and they'll get like for example, they'll get the system right. It's the thing of, oh, you get experience points and you have to put them into one of 8 stats and whatever, but
Mm,
they just never feel the same. The
yeah.
combat never feels as satisfying. Exploration's never quite that same level of oh wow, I can't believe how this folds onto
Mm,
each other. So like, I'm willing to give this game a shot, but I know that Monster Hunter is like the benchmark of, yeah, this is you fighting this big monster and it feels good to dodge and land combos. And so we'll see, I guess, when it launches. I hope the combat is as good as it looks.
I feel I agree with you 100%. I do feel as though a lot of the From Software clones that we've had are usually from developers with much, much smaller budgets,
Yeah, for sure.
and developers that aren't familiar with that sort of style, or just they don't have, you know, a bunch of games behind
Mm,
them. So I think if someone's going to at least tackle Monster Hunter, Koei Tecmo probably is one of the better choices to like maybe you can pull this off, you know.
mm. Oh, and the
Um,
game's
but
out
yeah,
soon, by the way, February
yeah,
17th.
February. Yeah, it's very
That's
soon.
around the
I'm
corner.
I'm keen to give it a go. And I hope it's good because having like an alternative to Monster Hunter would be nice because they come out so infrequently. So
Mm.
yeah.
And then in last piece of news, the next Need for Speed will reportedly be revealed very soon.
Yeah, apparently it is still meant to be EA's big holiday release, despite having no reveal yet. According to Eurogamer citing Insider Gaming again, it will be revealed within the next 2 weeks. Set to be released on 2nd of December and will allegedly incorporate anime elements.
So I'm only laughing not because I hate anime, just because it's just funny that's what does that mean?
It's only going to be available on current gen consoles.
Huh,
Interesting.
interesting.
Probably going to look
I
good.
think
I'm down for anime need to
going
come
into
in.
next year, we are definitely going to see less titles supporting last gen stuff. But yeah, what does it mean? It's going to have anime elements. Am I expecting some nonsense, Fast and Furious levels of bullshit where
I'm fucking so keen.
cars are neck and neck
Go
until
in.
the driver's like,
Let
oh, I have
let
this
let
NOS
the whole
button.
game let the whole game be cell shaded like the anime skins in
Yeah,
Fortnite.
maybe visually, but are we going to have the trope of, these
All
two
my car
people?
turned into a robot.
No, these two people are neck and neck, and then the protagonist is like, maybe I should shift gear, and they shift gear and they just launch forward. I'm like, what have you been doing this whole
You
time?
see you see those like black and white speed lines just like
Like, how
like
did
all
it?
over the page.
What have you been doing this whole time that you didn't do?
And then the opponent is so shocked at your
For
speed that
like,
his nose
whoa.
bleeds. Like
So I'm there for this anime. But
Yeah,
what does
I'm
it
100%
look
sold.
like? Is all I want to know.
Yeah, keen to-
But yeah, I guess we'll see soon enough. But
yeah, pretty soon, I'm sure.
that's news.